Alright, welcome back everybody. We've got another Milsurp review for you today. Most of you are probably looking at this rifle and thinking, okay, well, you know, we've seen a million of these, but for good measure, we want to go ahead and do a review on it. And this is the Russian M91 30 service rifle, chambered in 7.62 by 54 rimmed. Served the Soviets throughout World War II and on into later conflicts. Very good gun overall. I've seen a lot of service around the world. I could probably talk for a long time just about all the different places around the world that this rifle and variants of this rifle have seen use. The Russians pretty much had their butts handed to them by the Finns in the Winter War of '39 and onward, and that's why you see a lot of the Finn rifles based on the Mosins, because they captured so many Russian rifles they had to do something with them, so they ended up using them for that. The Finn variants of this rifle are extremely nice. The M39s, M28s, even some of the later marksmanship rifles that the Finns ended up using were based on original Mosin actions. Okay, so a very nice setup. 5-round bolt action, has a straight bolt mechanism, rotates 90 degrees. Pretty straightforward setup. I'm going to show you some close-ups and we'll talk about some of the features of this rifle as we go. Very nice little setup, reasonably accurate. You notice that I have the bayonet attached. It is removable. It's a spike, what they call a cruciform bayonet, 4-sided, like a cross. They were meant to be fired with the bayonet attached to the rifle permanently. They were never really intended to be removed. That's why you see a lot of these guns with no scabbards. They didn't make scabbards for the bayonets. So I'm going to show you some close-ups and we'll fire a few rounds with it. Great little gun. They were made in 2 factories, Ishevek and Tula. All Mosins use a standard stamped steel butt plate. Nothing fancy there. That's pretty much your typical fare for most military rifles. You have 2 basic forms of receivers you're going to see on these. This one is a round receiver. Of course, it has a round profile. The hex will have a hexagonal or squared off looking profile. The hex receivers are generally considered to be a little bit better just because you do have more metal mass there. They do require a little bit more precision to make, so that's why generally people will consider them to be the better choice. They are older. Most of the older Mosins are going to have hex receivers. The wartime production guns will always be round. They did that to speed up the manufacturing process. Here's a few markings which help identify my rifle. The triangle with the arrow in the center is the Ishevek. A Tula will be a star with a hammer in it or a star with an arrow in it. This is the year of production, 1944, of course. Here we have a black powder proof mark. That's a Y. Hopefully you can see that. We have the sickle and hammer designating Soviet Union, of course. Typical tangent sights adjustable to 2,000 meters. Pretty typical fare on just about any military surplus rifle. The rear sights are relatively easy to pick up. The sights are a little bulky and large, but they acquire well. You got to think the gun wasn't ever intended for target shooting. It was meant for shooting at humans. Here on the front of this Mosin, you can see the bayonet attached. We've got a globe that protects the front sight. The front sight is adjustable for windage, but not for elevation. The 7.62 by 54R has the prestige of being the longest serving military cartridge in military history. It's been in service since 1891. The most efficient way to load one of these rifles is with the stripper clip. Place it in the notch, take the first round, pull up on it, and use it to push down. It helps. 3 o'clock on the plate. Dead center.
2 o'clock on the plate, near the edge. Same place.
I hit it?
Yeah. Good. Edge of the plate, 4 o'clock.
All right, good.
Good. 6 o'clock on the plate.
Good shot. Good shooting.